Betsy's life was turned upside down this week after she suddenly collapsed and was rushed to hospital in an emergency. Doctors later confirmed that she had suffered a stroke, leaving her with aphasia and dysarthria, conditions that affected her ability to communicate and speak clearly. Her mother, Lisa Connor-Swain, was devastated by the diagnosis and immediately searched for someone to hold responsible. Her anger soon focused on Dylan Wilson, and the truth about what had happened left viewers stunned. It was revealed that Betsy and Dylan had been experimenting with consensual strangulation during sex, an act that ultimately led to Betsy's stroke. Furious over what had happened, Lisa confronted both Dylan and his father, Sean Tully, before deciding to report Dylan to the police. Sydney Martin, who portrays Betsy, recently spoke about the storyline and shared her thoughts on the situation from both Betsy's and Dylan's perspectives. She explained that after discussions with specialist charities, she learned that even if both people had agreed to the act, someone could still face legal consequences if it resulted in serious physical harm. She added that the story reflects the pressures many teenagers experience. According to Sydney, young people often feel they must avoid appearing boring or prudish, leading them to believe they need to try increasingly risky sexual behavior. The actress also expressed sympathy for Dylan, saying that both characters genuinely believed they had done nothing wrong. In their minds, they were simply exploring something they had come to see as normal. Sydney pointed out that many teenagers grew up with unrestricted access to online pornography before stricter age verification rules were introduced. Because of that, many young people have been exposed to unrealistic and extreme portrayals of sex, which can influence their understanding of healthy relationships. After consulting with charities while preparing for the storyline, Sydney praised the production for tackling a difficult subject that reflects the real-life social pressures facing young people today. As expected, the controversial storyline sparked intense debate across social media. Fans shared sharply divided opinions, arguing over whether Betsy or Dylan should be held responsible and questioning whether such a sensitive topic should be shown before the evening watershed. One viewer criticized the storyline, suggesting the writers never allow Betsy and Dylan to enjoy a normal relationship and instead keep creating disturbing situations for the couple. Another fan argued that subjects like this are not suitable for an early evening family program, believing that stories involving explicit sexual themes should only be broadcast later at night. However, others defended the decision, saying that showing the storyline during family viewing hours encourages important conversations between parents and children and helps raise awareness about the risks involved. Despite the disagreement over the plot, many viewers praised Sydney Martin's performance. Numerous fans described her acting as powerful, emotional, and deeply convincing, with many calling her one of the show's strongest young performers. The biggest argument centered on who should accept responsibility. Some viewers insisted that Dylan should not shoulder all the blame because both teenagers willingly took part in the act. Others strongly disagreed, arguing that Dylan should have refused regardless of Betsy's wishes. They pointed out that under current laws, consent is not always considered a legal defense when serious injury results from violent acts. Several fans also questioned whether the storyline should have focused on erotic asphyxiation at all. Some felt it would have been more effective to raise awareness about strokes in young people caused by underlying medical conditions rather than linking the story to dangerous sexual behavior. In contrast, other viewers praised the writers for tackling a difficult but realistic issue. They argued that risky sexual practices are more common than many people realize, and believed education is far more important than simply condemning or ridiculing young people. One particularly emotional response came from a viewer who had personally experienced a stroke. They shared that they had recently lost their own speech following a stroke and said Betsy's storyline deeply resonated with them, bringing them to tears. They also thanked the show for highlighting the lasting physical and emotional impact that stroke survivors often face. The storyline has certainly divided opinion, but it has also sparked an important conversation about consent, online influences, teenage relationships, and the long-term effects of stroke. Kit Green is about to face one of the biggest challenges of his life as Coronation Street explores whether he will stand by Sarah Platt or remain loyal to his career in the police force. In next week's episodes, Kit's world is thrown into chaos when Sarah is arrested, forcing him to choose between the woman he loves and the job that has always come first. Viewers already know that Sarah was responsible for Theo Silverton's death, while Gary Windass played a key role in helping her hide what happened. After months of keeping the truth secret, Sarah eventually confessed everything to Kit, who then found himself struggling with his responsibilities as both her partner and a police officer. Speaking about Kit's reaction, Jacob Roberts explained that the confession came as a complete shock. Although Kit had long suspected Sarah and Gary were hiding something connected to Theo's death, he never imagined Sarah herself was responsible. The revelation became even more devastating because it happened shortly after Kit had asked Sarah to marry him. Instead of celebrating their future together, he was forced to confront the reality that the woman he planned to marry had been keeping such a life-changing secret. Despite learning the truth, Kit initially tried to shield Sarah from the consequences. However, his loyalty has limits, especially when his own future is on the line. According to Roberts, Kit's career is his top priority. While he cares deeply for Sarah, he has no intention of sacrificing everything he has worked for to protect her. Discovering that he had unknowingly been living with someone connected to a murder completely shattered his trust. Kit believes he should not suffer for a crime he played no part in. As a result, he will only go so far to help Sarah if doing so does not threaten his position within the police force. His frustration also extends to Gary Windass. Learning that Sarah turned to her former partner for help instead of him left Kit feeling deeply hurt and humiliated. From Kit's perspective, Gary was the last person Sarah should have trusted. He believes that, with his knowledge of police procedures, he could have handled the situation far more effectively than Gary ever could. Although Kit understands Sarah acted out of fear and panic, he still struggles to accept her decision to involve an ex-partner. That choice damaged their relationship almost as much as the secret itself. Ironically, Kit believes everything could have turned out very differently if Sarah had told him the truth immediately. He is confident that because Theo died during what he considers an act of self-defense, there may have been a legal way to protect her from the beginning. Roberts also pointed out that Kit is far from a perfect police officer. Having bent the rules before, he understands exactly how investigations work and believes he could have managed the situation if Sarah had trusted him from the start. Instead, months of lies and the cover-up have made the case far more serious, leaving Sarah in an increasingly difficult legal position. As Kit desperately searches for a way to help the woman he loves, time quickly runs out. In Monday's episode, events take another dramatic turn when fellow officer Lisa Connor-Swain arrests Sarah on suspicion of Theo Silverton's murder, leaving Kit powerless as his personal and professional worlds collide.